Moments of inspiration mixed with time to network, IBJ Media Events has you covered. From industry deep dives to awards celebrating Indiana's top leaders, see what's coming up and reserve your seat at ibj.com/RSVP.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. I'm Alex Brown. Two University of Notre Dame alumni have founded the Indianapolis-based medtech startup Kinetitech, which has developed a device known as the Bedside Bike. Attached to the footboard of a hospital bed, the device allows patients to perform lower and upper body resistance exercises. Co-founder Dr. Neil Gyrath says it helps avoid the effects of immobility, especially among older patients.
Within 24 hours, your leg muscles can decondition or atrophy up to 2%. So if you add that up over the course of a hospitalization, like 5-7 days, you can see how patients who entered ambulatory, able to walk, leave not be able to walk.
The device is currently being studied at 4 hospitals in Indianapolis, Carmel, Bloomington, and Evansville. Ohio-based steelmaker Cleveland Cliffs is planning a major investment at its Burns Harbor facility in Porter County. The company plans to reline its blast furnace C at the steel mill beginning in 2027. While a specific dollar figure was not given, the company said it plans to make $900 million in total capital expenditure investments in 2027, largely because of the blast furnace reline project. Fort Wayne-based Franklin Electric is reporting full-year net income of $147 million in 2025, down from $180 million the previous year. Despite the drop, the manufacturer also reported a 5% increase in net sales for the year, totaling $2.1 billion. Franklin Electric manufactures systems and components, including motors and pumps, designed for the movement of water and energy for residential, commercial, agricultural, industrial, municipal, and fueling applications. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader.
Legislators might have coalesced around a plan for consolidating perhaps hundreds of Indiana's more than 1,000 township governments. IIB's Aubriana Herron has the story.
An Indiana House committee on Tuesday endorsed a melding of differing Senate and House bills that supporters say will improve local government efficiency. The new version of Senate Bill 270 would require townships with low performance evaluations to merge with other townships. The plan would also have city governments take over the township functions when the township is located mostly within the city limits. Townships taking steps toward mergers under current state law by June 30th, 2027 would be exempt from the proposed new procedure that would then begin. It would start the process for mergers taking effect January 1st, 2029, a year later than previously proposed. The bill's author, Republican Senator Rick Niemeyer, says the delay would give townships facing required consolidations time to make their own merger decisions. It is unclear how many townships could face required mergers under the revised plan, though the version originally passed by the House estimated about 650 townships could be affected. The House Local Government Committee voted 11-2 on Tuesday in favor of Senate Bill 270, sending it to the full House for action. If it gains House approval, both the House and the Senate would have to agree on a final version before the legislative session's scheduled adjournment on February 27th. Aubriana Herron, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
A 602-acre package of farmland between Lebanon and West Lafayette is set to hit the auction block as the northwest corner of the Indianapolis metro area attracts high-profile development. The holdings up for auction are 7 non-contiguous tracts in Tippecanoe, Clinton, and Montgomery counties, about 10 miles north of the LEAP Research and Innovation District in Lebanon. The largely agricultural area has been in the spotlight for several years since state economic development officials began assembling thousands of acres of land for the district. The tracts up for auction are located along or near U.S. Highway 52, which runs parallel to Interstate 65 to the east. Amplify Bloomington CEO John Fernandez is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC. A weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Indiana's biggest names, their most personal stories. The Business and Beyond podcast brings you one-on-one conversations with the state's top leaders in business, sports, politics, and culture. If you want to know what makes Indiana tick, this is your show. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts or at ibjpodcasts.com.
Want to give your team a real edge? The IBJ Group Plan delivers unlimited access to every story, every report, every video from IBJ and Inside Indiana Business for your whole team. Cover some or all of your employees with one simple payment. The more you add, the more you save. It's smart, it's flexible, and it saves you up to 30% off the standard rate. Already have IBJ subscribers in your office? Group up and save big. Learn more and get started now at ibj.com/group-plan.